As we're getting to a little bit cooler temperatures, today we're going to be making some pozole. And I'm actually making a double batch. I got some family and friends coming over, and we're going to just enjoy this family traditional recipe that I love. To start off, we'll need some pork. Now this is actually 4 pounds of pork. I actually doubled the size of my recipe. So if you do want to make this, just cut this recipe in half for like about 5 to 6 people. But I'm trying to feed like about 10 people today. We will need a whole onion, half for the salsa that we're gonna be making and half for topping. You'll need 6 chile de California. Now you could use chile Guajillo also. If you wanna add some other spicier chiles like chile de árbol, you could throw a few in there just to kind of spicing it up. But you know, since I'm cooking for multiple people, this is crushed chile de árboles. This will add the heat for whoever wants it spicy. You could use chili flakes also. So yeah, non-spicy pepper, spicy pepper for topping for those who want it spicy. Or you could also serve diced serranos or jalapenos with it for a topping. For the salsa, we'll need 6 garlic cloves, 1 tablespoon and a teaspoon of chicken bouillon, 1 tablespoon of oregano. Now for topping, we have cabbage here. I'm gonna be slicing this up later. Also for topping, we're gonna be having cilantro. We will also need radishes and some lemon for our final toppings. Sorry, I had these off camera. They were on the other end of the kitchen, but we're gonna need some hominy. So this is about almost 2 pounds of hominy. So I'm doing a double batch, so we're gonna need 2 cans of these. So these are about 1 pound and 13 ounces. So yeah, we're gonna need 2 cans of hominy for this recipe. Now the only thing that we're gonna be cooking outside of the Instant Pot is the chiles. So we're gonna get this cooking and set this to medium-high heat. So now that the water is boiling, we're gonna make sure that all this gets submerged a little bit. And then we're going to cover this. We're gonna turn to about medium-low. We're gonna let this cook for about anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, just until those chiles become like pliable and then they're really easy to blend. All right, in a blender, we're going to add in our chilies that we just cooked. Add in our half of an onion, garlic, oregano, and our chicken bouillon. I'm gonna start off with 4 cups of water. If we need more for the soup, then we'll just add a little bit more, but just for this, I'm gonna start off with 4 cups. All right, that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and get to our Instant Pot. With our Instant Pot all cleaned up, we're gonna add in our meat. Now add in our salsa that we just blended up. Okay, give this a mix. We wanna make sure some of that salsa is on the bottom as well. I got a feeling we're probably gonna need some water at the end. So I'll take care of the water after we cook everything because the meat's actually gonna release a lot of fat and water itself. So that'll kind of give me an idea of where the water level is. So we're gonna just close this up. So this specific model of Instant Pot, it actually, when you close the lid, it actually seals itself. So right now the vent is actually sealed. Okay, so we'll start off, we'll hit pressure cook. Now we wanna set this for, we wanna make sure that it's on high heat. Now to change the high pressure or low pressure, you just hit this little knob, you push it in, you turn it left for low, right for high. We'll push this knob again, and that'll let us select our time. Now, usually I do about 25 to 30 minutes per pound, but I cube these up for like stew meat. So I'm gonna let this cook for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now, this doesn't have to be shred apart. We just want it tender. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. It takes 20 to 30 minutes. There is a lot in there. So it might take closer to the 30-minute range to start heating up. And then from there, it's actually gonna be, once it gets pressurized and fully heated up, then that countdown will actually start. So we're looking at about 2 hours for it to cook. I'm gonna give this, since it has a lot of liquid in there, I'm gonna let this sit for about at least 30 minutes of natural release. And after that 30 minutes, so we're looking at about 2.5 hours. So I'll see you guys back in about 2.5 hours. The pozole has been done for about 33 minutes. As you can see, it says keep warming. That's how many minutes it's been keeping warm. So we're actually gonna just cancel this and we're gonna open up the Instant Pot. So we will release the valve. Now with that 30 minutes of just natural release, you don't have a whole bunch of pressure just shooting up a bunch of water. Since there's probably a lot of liquid in here, yeah, it's not gonna make a mess. So we're gonna let this just release all the rest of its pressure out, and then once this little button goes down, you can open the lid. Once that valve goes down, you can open up the Instant Pot. All right, so we have a lot of fat up here on the top, so I'm gonna skim a lot of this fat out. So that's just nothing but fat. So we're gonna skim all this off. Skimmed off quite a bit. There's still a little bit, but you're not gonna be able to get everything out. I mean, pork is a really fatty protein. That looks pretty good. So now we actually need to add a little bit of water. Before we add water, just to calculate how much we'll need, I'm gonna add in the hominy. And I'll just stir this up. I mean, it's looking good. Looks like it's got a good water to ingredient ratio. Probably add just a couple cups, because I like to have a lot of broth in my pozole. Yeah, I'll probably add maybe 2 to 3 cups. Let me see what that looks like. Adding in 2 cups right now. Actually, that's looking pretty good. I think the 2 cups will do. Now all we're gonna do is just check for seasoning. Let's get some of the broth. Okay, with the chicken bouillon, it's not far off. I'm gonna go with just about a teaspoon and just stir this around. Now, season salt to your taste, preference. I have a little bit heavier of a palate, but I've actually cut back salt throughout the years, so I'm trying to make that a little bit better, you know, where I'm not eating so much salty foods. But yeah, I've cut down so much when it comes to salt content. But as always, season to your preference. All right, so I'm gonna serve me a bowl of this deliciousness. Look at that. Get a nice heaping scoop. I love some of this broth. This broth is really delicious. All right, let's go ahead and top it. Do some cabbage, a little bit of radishes, some onion and cilantro. Since this one's for my daughter, we're only gonna be doing lemon juice. Here, I'm gonna just stir this because this pork is looking delicious. Oh, fantastic flavor. All right, let me get my little girl over here so she can give you the taste test. All right, Jazzy, you ready for a bite? What do you tell the people? Cheers, y'all, huh? How is it, my love? Good. Good? All right. If you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you can see future videos just like this. As always, I'll leave a recipe in the video description. And I have these recipes. They're really good. You should try them out. Now, y'all be beautiful, and God bless.